Hey everybody, this is Skybase talking, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the work that I do along with NCH Productions. We'll call him Alex because it's a lot easier to say Alex than NCH Productions, but either way, I'm the guy who's responsible for doing sound effects. I also do music, I also do voice acting, and also some of the visual work if in any case he needs some. In many cases, I do effect work as well, so in this case I just did the sound effects. He did all of it. This is awesome work that he's done. So yeah, we got a bunch of characters, you know, and he got sounds on cue and everything else. This was done in 3 hours, by the way, so the file is extremely rough. That's why you're looking at him being like, my god, why does he have track number 5 and track number 9, like, together, it's just a mess. But forgive me, it's not like, I'm doing this for, like, money or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing this for fun, and, whenever I'm having fun, I just want to just kind of get these things out there quickly as possible whenever I have the spirit and the power to do something like this. So, okay, let me go through it. I mean, just talk a little bit about some of the workflow and stuff like that. So, what I got here is the movie, of course, and this is the very first thing that I get. I ask for the movie, please give me whatever you have that, I could match sounds to, please, and obviously at this point, no timings should be changed. Now, in some cases, whenever I'm doing client work, clients like to do this a lot, where a client would be like, hey, could you add like 0.5 seconds to this scene? And I'd be like, oh my god, please no. But in many cases with Alex, that doesn't happen at all. And if it does, I kind of get a little angry. And he knows. But either way, it's not like our relationships break because of that. Either way, because this was a quick production, some of the sound effects I did have to go and purchase them. We do use a website called soundsnap.com. It's super awesome. Go to it and just grab some sounds from there. It's super awesome, good quality stuff. So that really speeds up the process and also kind of gives it sort of creative edge at it, because we could be as funny as possible by even collecting the minor and obscure moments of these tracks, and I'll be showing you some bits and pieces of that as well. So first of all, just talking a little bit about it, it's not like every single sound effect we went and purchased. Some of these are actually, recorded, and I went ahead and just recorded using the microphone that you're hearing from right now. So, this sound effect is confetti. There was a little birthday party a while ago at my studio, and it just happens to leave behind quite a mess, plus a little bit of these little stringy pieces of paper, which come out of those little firecracker things, and yeah, I was like, okay, I'll just use this. So yeah, when you crush it just a little bit in your hand, it makes this really authentic sounding grass being stepped on sort of sound. And if you crush it just even more, then it makes this sort of plus gravel in there or something like that. And by filtering the sound a little bit, giving it a little bit more, well, not thickness, but more thinness of it, and also brushing up the sound by removing many of the noise frequencies that were in the, removing much of the noise from the recording itself, it gets a nice clean sound like this. And just putting it on cue, well, your brain's fooled into thinking, well, that was a sound effect, that was a sound of grass blades being pushed away. And of course, by doing a little bit more, now you're hearing the sound effect of grass being pushed down by foot. All right, so then in a couple scenes after this, this is where the fun begins. Alright, so this was just a one sequence right here, and I'll break it down for you and talk a little bit about it. This is just kind of my philosophy and my idea about how I go about doing things, but comedy, especially when it comes to comedy, it's all about timing, and when you miss little bits and pieces of timing, it just kind of falls apart. Whenever you're listening to kind of stand-ups and stuff like that, where it's just not funny, it's partially because the timings are off for some people. Some people kind of laugh at it, but the jokes are just kind of off, Yeah, it feels awkward. Talking is all about timing and giving the right amount of information to the audience at the right amount of time is the way that comedy works. As much as that, whenever I'm working on sound effects for a comedy short like this, yeah, little bits like that matter. So whenever she rides the Jaggy or Jagi or however you want to pronounce this character here, when she lands on it, there's a little thud sound, like a punch sound, right? And then a burp sound. Like, yeah, his lungs are being pressed, and he was just drinking. That would kind of be funny, right? So that's the sort of like little thing that, is probably not seeable, but when you hear it, it's just funny. Like, it just kind of cracks you up a little bit. And just to let you know, this screaming sound is me. In the middle of the night, with like neighbors and paper thin walls in the middle of Tokyo where it's so densely packed everyone could hear you, I was screaming. And this kind of makes me feel a little bad, but like honestly I need this recording and I wanted to have myself doing some character here. Now this was a feminine character, well, feminine, more like a girl, so like I didn't know if I should be doing it, but in the end, she's like a he, so I pitched up the voice a little bit, keeping the formants, and that really, kind of made it sound really nice. Pitched up version of my voice, and that really just made it sound like her. Yeah, even little things like the sound, just kind of indicates that, okay, here, well, she's going to start jumping. The character's going to jump. And that's the sort of little indicator that helps people understand the film. In the next scene, we have this, like, just punching and, like, beating the character up and so on and so forth. But as you could hear, there are a bunch of things going on. But amongst all of this, you could probably hear some puh sounds in it. That's because I'm actually doing that. Yeah, this is my voice, and the best punching sounds basically come out whenever you're just doing pa, pa, like something like that, just voice acting it. And your voice is really a good tool for making a lot of sounds, especially in comedy or the situation works. It's great to just kind of use your sound to, or your body parts to do things like hits and drums and stuff like that. So it's not impossible to pretty much do everything using your body. Now, of course, there's some things out there that you can't do, but that's like getting a little resourceful and using your ideas and so on and so forth. So yeah. After beating the character up, you see three grown men with like children cheering in the background, and it just kind of adds to the taste that these guys are not necessarily the most mature of the characters. Anyway, just moving on here, we got player number 3. There's a scene where he tries to eat this hunk of meat, and the whole joke is that, well, he can't eat without the helmet on. So like, so of course, this is like funny even with the music on, but like what really adds to it is the fact that like these sound effects just kind of come in sequences. So what you're hearing is dun dun dun, like this tonal sound where you got one thing, another thing, and another thing, and it's going downhill instead of going uphill. Now the reason why I did that is because this is just kind of like formulaic, I know, but like the idea is that by going downhill, it is a negative sign that, well, something's not right here. Your brain kind of like doesn't necessarily think that, but it kind of hears it and goes, oh, it's going somewhere. And it's this little moment. Even with tiny little things like this, it really helps to bring out the story, and it brings out the whole joke as well. Yeah. So very simply put, many of the aspects, even the tiniest of sound effects, really helps to enhance the story and makes it easier for people to understand. Towards the end, so you got the knife sharpening sound effect, and then you also got like me just coughing here. There's an ambulance outside. Anyway, I'm not gonna cut that out. So I'm like doing this, like just this sort of thing, and then I start coughing, and this really just brings out the sort of moment here for the little bug that's just about to get his head like just plops off, yeah. So little bits and pieces like that help just bring out the moment of it, and yeah, it's all about talking together with the, especially with the director here. Alex really does a good job of telling me what to do and what he wants, and usually, we work it out, and yeah, this is kind of like after a couple changes here and there, this is what I got. So hopefully, I don't know if this helped or not. I know this video is a little rough, sorry about that. But if anyone has any questions, please let me know. And also subscribe, because it's super awesome if you do. And thank you very much. Well, I'll see you guys in the future. Bye.